Aha. Not real. Good morning, people. Good morning. A lot of things happening today in the world. Just got a flurry of texts. And then there was light. Okay. Okay. All right. Good morning. Today is September 11th, 2025. It is just after 6 o'clock in the morning here in southwestern Nevada. This is day 4 of week 1, Thursday, day 4 of week 1 in our neuroscience oriented approach to success, 2022-2021 edition. Yes, we need to update that, but it's so good. Let's talk about our theme of today. Our theme of today is Charlie Kirk, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. Right. It's one of those days. I think it's going to be one of those days that many people will be, where were you when you heard Charlie Kirk died? Yeah, it was like, I was told, it was like he's dead. Who's dead? Charlie Kirk. What do you mean he's dead? Thinking that meant his career is over. He's done something kaput. It was like, no, he was shot. What? Wait, what? One of those things you put a lot of processing into. And then, of course, the more you think about it, the more you get that, yeah, that's just a symptom of how the world is today, yesterday, and tomorrow. There will always be the lunatic fringe who will decide that they want to take advantage of their moment in history, right? I'll be famous. I'm going to be the guy that goes down and shot Charlie Kirk. I'm going to be that guy. So anyway, that's our theme. We'll talk more about that later. This is September 11th. Yeah, another big day. I remember where I was on this day. I was flying to Kansas City. No, I was flying to Chicago. I had to change planes in Kansas City. And we got off the plane. We were waiting. All of a sudden, all of the TVs went off in the airport. Boom. TVs all went down. Then people's cell phones started ringing. That's weird. What's going on? Then people talking about, yeah, there was a plane hijack crash, something off course. Nobody knew what it was. Then the flights are delayed. Confusion, what's going on. Then an announcement later that all flights are canceled. Once again, everybody's phone is ringing. Now, this was like, I think around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Might have been a little bit earlier even, Kansas City time. Well, it was later than that, Kansas City time, maybe 9, maybe 7 in California. So, and then the mass dash to the car rental agencies. And on the door of the place I went, I think I got one of the last cars, was this handwritten sign on the door, no one-way trips. So I got a car, I drove from Kansas City to Chicago, and then I had to drive back. I got back like the next day, I think, and everything was still shut down. The airport was closed, and I walked through the Kansas City airport. The doors were open, but nobody was in there. It was just like after the apocalypse. I just parked right out in the front at the curb. Felt if there was any police, any security, they would, find me. They wouldn't have it towed. And just walked from one end of the airport to the other. It was very strange. It's like you see in the movies. After everyone is dead, you're the only person there. Well, the next day, I think it was the next day, the flights were going again, and I was able to fly out. I somewhere have my ticket, my September 11th original ticket to Chicago, unused. I got a ticket back to San Diego. Anyway, that's today. That's what we commemorate today. Yesterday, Charlie Kirk. I think today you're going to start seeing a lot of videos posted on what does it mean, what is going to happen now. I have my book in there from Turning Point USA, Lucas Miles' book. Everything was moving. They're creating a juggernaut. And you just have to wonder 5 years from now, what is Turning Point USA going to be in 5 years? Is there somebody that's going to be able to pick up the mantle and have increased momentum and devotion to that cause for which he gave the last full measure of devotion? Or is it going to be like most things? The heart is gone and it just kind of dwindles off. We shall see. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. I did not agree on everything he said. I certainly didn't agree on his theology. Some of the finer points, in finer I mean the more narrow, certainly the broad points, yes. But we shall see what happens in the coming days and weeks. I'm sure the air and the internet will be filled with stories of Charlie Kirk and the good things he did and tried to do. And the lesson I think we learn is evil abounds. Evil abounds. Always be on the guard for evil, but let's not let evil dissuade us. So here is a prayer. Dear God, please give me the courage to always stand for what is right in your sight. Give me the wisdom to know when to act quickly and wisely, and the strength to speak truth to power regardless of personal cost. Please fill me with your spirit, give me hope, and make my heart both compassionate and courageous. Amen. Right. So I think that is a good prayer considering what happened with Charlie Kirk yesterday. All right. So, what I would say, 15 minutes of contemplation. What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to us as a people, etc.? Okay, moving along. Not to diminish the Kirk thing, but we can mourn, but we still have to pick up our yoke and move forward. Advice from an 80-year-old: avoid sarcastic remarks. Yeah. Did Charlie Kirk do that? I think, yeah, he avoided them. Did he eliminate them? I don't know. I can't think of any sarcastic remarks. I think it was kind of keeping it real, maybe a little sarcasm in there, maybe towards the sarcastic end of the spectrum, but that doesn't mean anything. However, we should avoid them because they're generally hurtful. Sarcasm is a negative statement wrapped around humor. It's an injury wrapped around humor. Okay, well, let's see what else is on our hit parade for today. Our TED Talk, Yuval Harari, Okay, that's kind of good. That's a good one for today. Why humans control the planet. I think we can tie this into Charlie Kirk. So Yuval Harari says humans control the planet because we can work flexibly in large numbers. We're the only animals that can work flexibly in large numbers. Bees and ants in large numbers, but not flexibly. They do one thing. You don't have to worry about an uprising, overthrowing the queen bee or the queen ant. The worker bees aren't going to unionize, stuff like that. They have one way of doing things and they are stable. But if you take out, like, say, the queen, they will collapse. Other animals, social animals like wolves, chimpanzees, they can cooperate flexibly, but only in small numbers. So Yuval Harari asked the question, why is it? Why is it that only humans can cooperate flexibly in large numbers? And his answer is very simple. Because only humans tell stories, and if we believe the story, we'll do the behavior. Only humans are able to tell stories. No other animals can tell stories like humans. And then he asked the question, well, why is it that humans tell stories? And that's because we live in a dual world where we have objective reality. A tree is a tree, a river is a river, and we have what he calls fictional reality or subjective reality. That's a beautiful river. That's a scary mountain. That's a wonderful sunset. Only humans are able to do that. And then that's as far as Yuval Harari goes. Susanna Herculano picks up the ball over at Princeton and asks the question, why is it only humans are able to do that? And it's because we have more neurons by far. And then she will break it down further, say, well, why do we have more neurons? And the answer is because we cook our food. And then she'll go down further than that. She'll go down further. And what is the benefit of cooking food? And it's more nutrients in a shorter period of time. The benefit of which isn't the nutrients, it's the time. We have more time to do other things. We spend less time looking for food, eating food, digesting food. And the example I like to use is raw spinach versus cooked spinach. If you wanted to eat a pound of or 1 gallon of raw spinach, one of those gallon bags in the store, raw spinach, most people can't do it. It's just too much work. It takes too long. You start feeling a slime on your teeth, and it's tasteless. You got to work at it to do it. And it's a lot. However, if you cook it down into a pan and maybe add a little salt to it, you can eat that in just a minute or so. Because first of all, it shrinks down to almost nothing. And then with the salt especially, it has the flavor. So you don't get all of the nutrients, but you get a lot more nutrients than you would have otherwise. It takes you less time. So now you have time to do other things like what? Solve problems. Right. Okay. Why do we care? Well, that's kind of how the world works. Telling stories that people believe. Now, Yuval goes further and says most of the things we believe are stories. Money is a story. What is money? Objectively, it's just a green piece of cloth. A printed piece of cloth that has no objective value. But he says you can take that $1 bill into a store, give it to a complete stranger, and you can have bananas. Let's say today's world, it's one banana. But you try that with a chimpanzee, as Yuval Harari would say, and the chimpanzee is going to say, no, no, I would rather have the banana. You can go to another, what Yuval Harari calls fictional story, and say, well, I'm really hungry, and if you give me the banana in exchange for the dollar, if you give me the banana, when you die, you will go to chimpanzee heaven. To which if the chimpanzee could talk, it would probably, according to Yuval Harari, say something like, "What, you want me to give you a banana in exchange for a worthless piece of paper because I'm going to go to this this place up in the sky? No way. What do you think I am, a human?" So laws, countries, human rights. He gives a list of things that we believe are real, but they're really just fictional stories. Okay, drilling down. Why do we care about that? Because if we want to be successful in the world, if we want people to help us, the story they have in their brain about us has to be a good story. It could be a bad story. It could be like Stalin, I need to do what he says or else I will be killed, or maybe Trump, where it will be, I will not only kill you, I will kill everybody in the village you came from. Just do the right thing. If you're not going to do the right thing, I will wipe out your bloodline from the face of this earth, from the rest of history. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to have a positive story, a story where people want to cooperate with you, where they want to reciprocate when you do good things. So that's why we include this, because bringing it down, what Yuval Harari is saying is right. He's also recognized, kind of like Johann Hari, he's recognized by the experts as, yeah, that guy probably nailed it. Probably nailed it. So he's one of the big names. And he's trying to talk about why humans control the planet. But we can bring that down to ourselves and our effectiveness. Say we are effective. We can be effective because we tell stories, or there's a story of us in the minds of other people where they want to cooperate. Now we can break that down even further in terms of how do we get people to cooperate. And there's three fundamental basic factors. One is, how educated are you? Because the story has a lot to do with, can have a lot to do with your education level, formal and informal. Charlie Kirk, not a lot of formal education, huge amount of informal, self-taught, autodidactic. Two, how articulate are you? You could be intelligent and not articulate. You can be you can be educated and not articulate. You could be like Charlie Kirk, not highly educated, formally educated, but highly, highly, highly articulate. And then the third factor is, how attractive are you? This is people who are not attractive have a harder time than other people. Charlie Kirk, okay, he was an attractive guy, good looking, in shape, highly, highly, highly articulate and well educated, but not formally educated, but well educated on the subjects he spoke of. And so we can do that with ourselves. Are you well educated? If not, you can really do something about that. Are you highly articulate? If not, you can do something about that. Are you attractive? Well, we can always do something about that. We can become more physically fit. We can wear clothes that are socially acceptable, that project, I should be taken seriously. Okay, time is up. That's it for today, people. Thank you for being there as always.